The next one, the consent of the data subject. The GDPR also defines it as like any freely given and specific informed and unambiguous indication of the data subject which to be processed, their personal data. I also give some, for this section under the PDPA, the detail of the consent is not fully developed yet. We're still waiting for the subordinate laws to come into effect. So but I believe, like I said, they adopt like more than 95% from the GDPR. So I think the concept will be the same. The consent has to be very clear. The consent has to be opt-in, not opt-out. Do not use free tick box. And we have to be very explicit if we are collecting the sensitive data. The data subject also have the right to withdraw anytime. That's the consent. But however, there's two types of consent, implied consent. If you visit a website recently, you can see that some websites say we use cookie. If you are not happy, or if you continue using, we will regard you as you are happy with the cookie ID use. That implied consent. But express consent have to state clearly that I hereby give you my permission or my consent. One other thing is that in our Dusit.com website, now we're still using that. If you are continue using, means that you are happy with our service. By law, PDPA, we allow that. But by GDPR, that's not acceptable because according to the GDPR, they don't have the concept of implied consent. It has to be explicit consent only. So if we want to comply with the GDPR, we need to change the way that we facing the word in our website too. So this is, for example, this is our registration card for the guests to check in. Please take a look at this one in the column of privacy policy. It said that I have read and understand the hotel privacy policy available at the front desk or through Dusit.com. I consent to collect, use, processing, and disclosure of my personal data for following purposes. Number one is providing customer service. Number two is marketing research, or keep me informed of the promotion news. All of this type is no longer valid because we bundle everything and we ask them to sign only one. And we also use the opt-in. I do not wish to receive any exclusive promotion in newsletter. So from now on, we cannot use that. It has to change the wording to I want to receive. Yeah, then pick. So that's why the new form will be separated. The purpose of use and the consent will be separated into different columns. And number one, like for example, we state the purpose that we want to use your personal data to provide a service that is related to the accommodation. You may have a question that, isn't it that we already use a contractual relationship, contractual relation basis? However, like I said, because the personal data in some circumstance, it's come with the sensitive data. So that's why we need to ask for the consent anyway. And the guests have the right to choose whether they want to give you a consent for the number one or not. The second one is that we're asking for the permission to use their personal data for the analysis, for the research. So this one, we also need to ask for the consent because doing the research or providing another analysis is not part of the contract. We don't have the basis for that. So we need to use the consent basis. And the third one is to communicate or to receive promotion. It's quite obvious that we need to ask for the consent. And the last one is asking about sharing the personal information to outside or to the third party. For example, in case of a hotel guest, if they want to collect their mileage or something with the airline, we need to send their accommodation information to the airline. We don't have lawful basis to send it out. So we ask for the consent as a lawful basis. That will be the new registration card, but it's still we still haven't finalized it yet. Next one is minors consent. By law, our age of majority is 20. If you want to process the information of the minors aging between 10 to 20, you can ask the permission from the minor themselves. In Thailand, legal, the age of majority is 20. If you are collecting information from the minor aging from 10 to 20, you ask from the subject, data subject themselves, but it has to be within their capacity to, you do not ask for something that above their discretion or something like that. That is not acceptable. Then you have to ask for their legal guardian. Like if you want to, let's say for example, you have a promotion that take them to the water theme park or something like that. You cannot ask the consent from the data subject themselves if they are below 20, because it may be beyond their capacity to make a decision. But if you are collecting the personal data from the children below 10, you have no other choice. You need to ask for the consent from the legal guardian only. That's how the minor consent work in terms of PDPA.